Hello, everyone. I think this is take 27 or 28 on this introduction because I am just so excited today to reintroduce you to my client, Christina. The reason I say reintroduce is because if you have a keen eye, you will recognize Christina from my very first desensitization video that I put out all the way back in January of this year. In that video, if you recall, we were first introducing Christina and her mom to my desensitization techniques, where I was helping Christina get used to feeling light touch and different texture sensations again. At that time, we were working on Christina's right arm in a non-painful area, and we were only able to touch the non-painful area of her upper arm 6 times before we had to take a break due to the pain and overwhelm that Christina's nervous system was feeling. In that video, you can see that Christina has pain in her right arm and that she's sitting in a chair, but what you can't see is Christina's full story. Christina, when we first met, was in this state, extremely overwhelmed by the pain, not only in her right arm, which was stuck in a dystonic type position, but also in her right and left leg. She was wheelchair bound and unable to complete daily tasks without assistance, needing help with things as simple as brushing her teeth or grooming. And so at that time, Christina was not only in excruciating pain, but she was extremely fearful about what was happening to her body. Because this wasn't the first time that Christina had been dealing with CRPS. She had been dealing with CRPS since she was 9 years old. So throughout this video, you're going to see Christina's journey from this state to this state. Just a few weeks ago, Christina and her family flew to Charlotte, North Carolina, where Christina was able to fully participate in the 5K, walking the entire distance without assistance or need for wheelchair or a pain flare afterwards. Christina has gotten to the point where she no longer fears CRPS at all, and she is completely pain-free. I am so beyond proud of Christina, and I am so excited to let her tell you her story here. And this won't be the only time you see Christina, because I have another longer form video coming out during CRPS Awareness Month that not only showcases Christina, but 3 of my other clients, both male and female, from ages 15 to late 60s. Keep your eye out for that next month. But for now, please enjoy Christina's story and her courage and this triumph of all the things that she's accomplished with me over these last 10 months. I am sure in the beginning that Christina and her mom were not even imagining that she would be where she is now. And so it brings me a lot of joy to be able to share this with you. If you are watching this and you're wondering who I am, I'll introduce myself really quickly. My name is Chase Teagarden, and a little over 10 years ago, I myself was diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome. I was relegated to a walker. I was taking nearly 16 pills a day, and I was let down by doctors over and over and over again. Finally, after multiple years, I was able to find my way out of pain. And since then, I have dedicated my life to helping people all over the world get out of pain as well. I have become not only a doctor of physical therapy, but a therapeutic pain specialist and one of 60 fellows of pain science in the nation. And I've developed a plethora of free materials, as well as an 8-week self-guided online program. And I offer one-on-one pain coaching where you can get help just like my client in this video, Christina, did. Without further ado, I'm going to jump into Christina's testimony and I'll let her tell you her story. Thank you again to Christina and her family for all of their trust, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, Christina, if you're ready, we can jump into the testimony. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay, so the first one is go ahead and give an introduction to who you are. I mean, a lot of people know you from the desensitization video,
Yes.
but just give a background of where you were before you met me.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just start with hello, everyone. My name is Christina Karras. I am 24 years old, and I was diagnosed with CRPS when I was 9 years old.
Mhm.
It all started when I injured my right foot by jumping on a trampoline. When I went to the doctors, they believed I had a hairline fracture near my growth plate.
Mhm.
So they decided to cast my right foot. After the allotted time of needing to be in the cast, I was still in pain. So the doctor decided to recast my right foot. After I was done with that second cast and I was still in pain, the doctor then decided to send me to a sports doctor.
Mm.
And that sports doctor pretty quickly, just by looking at my foot, was like, yeah, this is CRPS. And he sent me to Children's Hospital. And it was there that I started physical therapy, several medications, and on occasion, sympathetic nerve blocks.
Mm.
And during that time, the pain was on and off. Like at first, the medication helped, it lowered my pain. The pain eventually did go away, but it would come back.
Yeah.
Same thing with the sympathetic nerve blocks. They would work for a short period of time, but the pain would always come back.
Yeah.
Same with the physical therapy. And just as time went on, and having CRPS, I started to have pain not only in my right foot, but all the way up my right leg. And
Mm.
then as time went on, even longer, I started to experience pain in both my legs, my left and right legs.
Yeah.
Um, and this just kept going on until I would say October of 2020. I was 19 years old, and it was then I was able to achieve a somewhat pain-free life. And I mean, I would occasionally have pain, what I would call pain flares, but they would only last a
A
week.
little bit. Sure.
And that lasted for about 4 years. And then in September/October of 2024, I was 23 years old. I was in my third year of college studying engineering, and school was my whole life. I mean, that was all I did. In other words, I didn't really have any other interests. I would go to school, I would ask questions, and then I would come home and lock myself in a room, this room actually, and study for hours. I would write down all my homework questions and problems and then go over the problems on a whiteboard. Um, the classes were very, very stressful, and I never really gave myself the breaks I needed. And I didn't really have any friends. I mean, I would talk to people in class, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Then, on October 9th of 2024, Hurricane Milton hit Florida, which is where I live currently, which resulted in me and my family having to evacuate all the way to Miami, which is like, I believe it took us 3 hours to get down there at the time with all the traffic. So having to deal with the additional stress of the hurricane, and then once school was back in session, having to deal with all the piled on homework and exams, I just believed it was too much. My body could not handle it mentally or physically. And I started to have a pain flare. I thought it was just going to be the usual 1 week pain flare and I would be okay. But after a week, the pain just continued to get worse. And it got to the point where the pain was so bad in both my legs that I couldn't walk and I couldn't put any pressure or weight on either of my legs. And then I also started to have pain in my right hand, actually up to like right below my elbow,
Yeah.
actually. Before I met you, Chase, I was in a very, very negative headspace. I was in so much pain, and I was so fearful.
Yeah.
I have I've never experienced a pain flare like this before. And I mean, I was kind of used to having pain in my legs, but I was always able to bear weight in some way or another, and I have never had pain in my right hand. This was the first time.
Yeah.
My family and I had really no idea what to do next. I mean, we tried to think back and remember what past physical therapists had told us to do, but we couldn't really figure out where to start. So we prayed and prayed, and that's when my mom found you, Chase, on Facebook, and we reached out to you and started these sessions.
Yeah. It's it's wild to, well, firstly hear just the depth of your story,
Yeah.
for people that have had a glimpse of you in the desensitization video, they can remember back when we were first trying to even touch the arm,
Oh, yeah,
right? And we couldn't even go, we could barely touch here without
exactly.
a lot of pain. You remember we had to take a break, right?
Yes, I do.
Um, and I'll add in that clip for people who haven't seen it. Mom, go ahead and let's do this 10 times randomized items, okay? In the space she pointed out to you.
Okay. What is this?
The stuffed animal.
Okay. What is that?
I think that's the stuffed animal again.
Mhm.
What is that?
Santa hat.
That's not where you can hear it. What is that?
The stuffed animal.
Is that? That was still, sorry.
I think that's the Santa.
Okay. And what is that?
Santa.
Okay, that's 6. Take a pause for a second. What are you feeling right now, Christina?
It's um tingly. It's like there's kind of a shock wave that kind of hits when she first touches it.
Of course, they remember you when you were first starting to go from using the wheelchair trying to get up on the walker.
Yeah.
So they remember seeing that video and the update video of that. All right, let's do it.
I'm glad we didn't go swimming today. We were going to go swimming today. It would have knocked you out.
Yes, awesome. So, many seconds does it feel like?
Okay.
Standing tall and proud. There you go. And then you rest back down when you feel like it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yep. And so yeah, the from suffering, for basically 10 years off and on pain flares until we were 19,
Yeah.
right? And then a couple years of what seemed like, what people would call a break or a remission, I guess. I don't
Mhm.
like that term personally, but what people would call. And then, as you pointed out, we hit this period in our life where we were putting a ton of pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
We were isolating because of that pressure. And then we had a breaking point, which was that hurricane, which was very stressful.
Yeah.
And our body basically said, no more.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we had pain in both legs and pain in our right arm, which definitely when we met, I would describe your demeanor compared to now. And I'll show a clip of us in
Yeah.
our first couple sessions. Um, much more afraid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that is completely understandable. And what's unique for people watching this that don't know, Christina's mom, when she found me, it was when I first started posting on Facebook. So, this was a project that started a little, almost a year ago. And Christina's mom found me, and I was still working at Texas Children's Hospital. And she said, "Can you work with me?" And I said, "Oh, I can't. I just work at the hospital." And she said, "Why not?" And I said, "You know what? You're right. Why not?" And so now your mom and your story, it was the catalyst for everything that the window pane is now. So it's cool to go from working privately for 6 years at hospitals in Texas to helping people all over the world. And now since I've had almost 100 clients
That's
um,
amazing.
that I'm
Yeah.
working with. So it's great. So all that being said, obviously we're in a different place now. We were in a
Yes.
very dark one to begin with.
Yes.
Tell people what you're doing now after we've gone through and completed coaching.
Well, I'm doing so much better. After 8+ months of weekly coaching, guidance, advice, and exercises with you, I'm walking all on my own and I'm using my right hand. I was even able to walk down the aisle at my brother's wedding as
Mm,
one of their bridesmaids,
yeah,
which I was so grateful to be a part of. And hold on, I'm looking at
amazing.
my notes.
It's okay. That's amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
that makes me feel emotional knowing that you were able to enjoy that once in a lifetime time.
absolutely. It
Yeah.
was a beautiful wedding.
Yeah,
Um, And after coaching, I'm going to continue to stay in contact with you, Chase,
for
as
sure.
I continue to get stronger and as I understand CRPS better.
Yeah.
I want to be able to jog and run again, and I would love to be able to complete the Fight the Flame 5K that I will be attending with you and your other clients this
Yeah.
September 28th, 2025,
Yeah.
which I believe will happen because I'm currently walking 3 miles on the treadmill. So
Wow.
that's amazing. But even if I only walk part of it, it's going to be an amazing win.
Absolutely.
My journey, it's not over, you know. I
Yeah.
want to be able to remember everything I learned from you, Chase, and that it's okay to take things one small step at a time. And I want to appreciate that I was able to recover with the help of you, Chase, of my family, and with the help of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Amen. Amen. I I'm almost speechless because I don't really know if I'm deserving of the praise, because I only show you the door and you're the one that has to walk through it, right? And
Yeah,
so during these last 8 months, we've had so many ups and downs, so many days where things felt really scary,
yeah,
right? But it was you, with the help, of course, of God, to find the strength to go to the pool and do the exercises we talked about, to learn to allow time for yourself for the things you love, like art and time with mom and dad, and being a part of these amazing events with your family. So, yeah, I think I did help, but I want you to know that the work you put in is what brought you here as well. Um, Super important. And I am very excited for this weekend. Um,
yes,
so for everyone watching this weekend, if you're near the Charlotte, North Carolina area, Christina, myself, and about 34 other people are going to be representing the window pane at the 5K. And yeah, we're all going to do it together. More of a celebration of how far we've come with walking. So it'll be wonderful. Can I see, with where you're at now, can you show us what you can do with your hand?
Oh, absolutely. I'm first of all, I'm wearing long sleeves, which
Uh-huh.
it took us a while to even get there, but yeah, I can open and close them. Was in previous videos, I don't think I was even able to get a
Oh,
full fist.
yeah.
I'm writing with my right hand now,
Yes.
which is amazing. So yeah,
Yeah. And we're using our legs,
yes,
and in previous videos, that was a challenge. Even trying to stand once, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and I'll be splicing in videos so people can see, of course, how far we've come. Even, I mean, doing this,
yeah.
incredible. And speaking of all the ups and downs and the challenges we had to face during coaching, what do you think the biggest one was?
My biggest challenge, or one of my biggest challenges, was fear. Absolutely. I just had so much fear, even just moving my hands or legs or having anyone touch my hands or legs.
Yeah,
My alarm system, as you taught me, was constantly going off.
yeah,
Even the slightest breeze from the fan in my room would cause a lot of pain for me. I had to challenge myself to slowly push through my pain to let my alarm system know that I wasn't in danger. I needed to trust the process that was being laid out before me.
Yeah.
And I also struggled with trust for a while. When I first met you, Chase, I was nervous. In the past, I had several physical therapists all tell me conflicting views and advice.
Mm,
And I I often felt like they wouldn't listen to me and that they would blame me if I wasn't getting better
sure.
and that I wasn't doing enough. I was scared that you were going to be the same way, because none of them knew what I was going through, and I felt like none of them truly understood. But thankfully, you've been so amazing, Chase. You really have. Just knowing that you had CRPS was such a big help, especially being able to know that you truly understood what I was going through.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you you always listened to me, even when I felt like what I was telling you was really silly. You never made me feel bad for needing to rest, or if I didn't complete a set of exercises we had set up earlier that week.
Yeah.
You made me feel safe, and you made me feel safe to tell you about my fears, and you knew how to talk me through them. You could relate, and you could give me different strategies on ways I could continue to get past my pain. One of them that really helped me was observing the pain and not being afraid to describe it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, you know, it's it's wild because until you mentioned that, I forgot those some of those conversations because it seems like something that would be so natural for someone to see someone else and say, this person is really having a hard time and struggling, and I need to meet them where they are and help them take the next step. And I think early on, and now that you're saying this, it's coming back to me. Early on in our sessions, I said to you very clearly, I said, you will never fail with me,
Yeah,
right? As long as we're trying, and that can look like a whole bunch of different things. As long as we're trying a single time, that is success.
yeah,
Um, and I think unfortunately with the pressures of, places we might work or the pressures of, meeting quotas at certain jobs and stuff, we can forget that sometimes as medical providers. Um,
mhm,
and that's the beauty of what I'm doing now, thanks to you and your mom, this pain coaching, because I can really, however long it takes, we're going to do it.
yeah,
And yeah, there were days where I could see that fear and worry and nervousness that maybe I would be mad or disappointed, right?
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, no, I would never. And you, to give you credit, you were very good at, okay, we've realized this right now, this assignment was too much.
Mhm.
How do we modify? And you were very good at coming up with ideas. Uh,
Yeah,
and it's been great. And there's even ideas you came up with that have helped other people I've worked with too. So
that's wonderful.
wonderful. Fear is the biggest thing when it comes to CRPS. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah,
You know, fear and learning to recognize our fear and learning to push past it. Because
yeah,
beyond the fear and beyond the anxiety and worry about everything going on, what we find is as we calm that down, which you've noticed yourself, what else calms down? The pain.
pain.
Yeah, yeah, you got it. Exactly. And so, fear being one of the biggest challenges we faced, what was the most important thing you feel like you learned, during our coaching?
Um, Pain is not my prison, it's my power. That's a great slogan, but
I love it.
adding on to that, I would say that I don't need to let my fear get in the way, that it's important to have hope,
Yeah.
that it's okay to take things at your own pace, that you shouldn't compare yourself to others,
Yeah.
and everyone is at a different stage of the race slash journey, that we experience that what we experience today can help us become stronger in the future. And that reminded me a verse, James 1, 2 through 3, which I'm paraphrasing,
Yeah.
that says that the various trials we face produce endurance. And knowing that we don't have to worry about tomorrow, that it's okay to take it just one day at a time, 1% at a time. And I remember you told me this at the very beginning, that 1% better is still progress. And something else that happened throughout my time with you is that I was reminded several times by you, my parents, my siblings, the other clients' videos, and by God, that I was never alone.
Mhm.
And I believe it is super important that I learn that just because you feel alone doesn't mean that you are. There are people out there who love you, who want to encourage you, people you can relate to, people who have or have recovered from CRPS out there.
Absolutely. So many.
Yeah.
And I wow, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm gonna get emotional because I definitely had moments where I felt so alone. Um,
Absolutely.
and so yeah, this is the very reason that I do this. Is so other people don't. So thank you.
Yeah.
You're the first one of all my videos that has got me to cry. So that's good. Um, wow. This next question goes without saying. Do you fear CRPS the same way that you used to?
No, I do not fear CRPS the way I used to. I mean,
Yeah.
even during my 4-year break, or like you said, remission, as some people might call it, I constantly lived in fear that it would come back.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't do anything if I thought it might hurt me.
Right.
I was constantly on guard. Both my family and I always felt like CRPS was always around the corner. It was always in the back of our minds. And now that I've overcome this, I don't want to let the fear of my CRPS hold me back. I want to go ice skating, skiing, hiking. I want to travel. And it has been several years since I have done any of these things. I would love to just try these activities, even if I end up not liking them.
Yeah.
Because in the past, I wouldn't even try. I would be too fearful that my CRPS would come back. I would like to be able to understand my body enough to know when I need to rest and that it is okay to rest.
Yes.
I would also like to learn how to bake and cook more and not be worried that I'm not going to do it perfectly. I don't want fear to dictate my life. I want to be grateful for my recovery and take what I've learned and apply it to my life. And I want to remember I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This is my favorite Bible verse, Philippians 4:13, which I have quoted several times
Mhm.
throughout this journey.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
I am very excited, Christina, to see you live life to the fullest. I am very excited to hear you, referring to this now in a different way because that's the reason that I don't think the term remission is a good term at all.
I agree.
I see this as recovered. And if there was ever an instance where we felt pain again, we have all the tools and resources we need to understand that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love that you talked about the perfectionism, the
Yeah,
the desire to push ourselves beyond what is healthy. And that is
exactly.
something that so many people, in fact, almost all with CRPS share from a personality perspective. We
Mhm.
are people who hold our emotions in a lot of times. We are people who are recovering people pleasers.
Yeah,
We are very sensitive people. We notice people's feelings and emotions very easily. But we don't tend to care for ourselves in the way that we do others. And so we often do find ourselves in a situation where the body says enough is enough. And it is clear to me through this testimony you've shared today that you learned that
Yeah.
and you understand that. And that list of things as a bucket list for things we can do now that we're free,
Yeah.
I am more than excited to watch you do it. And we're going to start with some of that this weekend at our 5K for sure.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, is there anything else you want to say as we wrap up the testimony?
I think that's pretty much it, but just a big thank you to you, Chase, and all that you're doing to help me and others. It's amazing.
Well, thanks so much. And I always say, no need to thank me. This is my passion, it truly. I spend most of my days just doing this and it feels wonderful. So, especially in this moment, I mean, today's amazing. So yeah, I will meet you for the first time in person
Yes.
in 5 days, I guess.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's wave bye to YouTube and we can chat
All
a little
right.
bit more. But thanks everybody for watching, and I hope you're as proud of Christina as I am, and I hope she's as proud of herself as I'm sure we all are.
Yes. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone. You can do it too.
Yes, yes, they can. All right. Bye-bye, YouTube.
Picked up the pieces, the seasons are changing, flowers I'm rearranging. Kept this a secret, gave me every reason, the stream I was chasing. The price of peace, the silence released, a fire we kept on burning. The light through the leaves, smoke in the trees, engines keep on turning. Thought we'd find we couldn't time it. It's all the night, watch you try. Yeah, we can lie, yeah, we can hide. Wings can shatter. Yeah, we can try, we can fight. We can lie, yeah. Breathe in the ashes, the sweetest distraction. Guess it's my reflection. Drowned in the habits, got trapped in the static, got off on the panic. Watching the stars, shooting the dark, burned up the wings that we wore. Flaming no spark, it's time to depart. And all the lies that kept me